When Peter Garrett abruptly terminated the government's beleaguered home insulation program on Friday, he also axed another controversial federal scheme, the Green Loans program. Under this scheme, people could get a free energy assessment of their home and then apply for a 4-year interest-free loan to finance improvements to their energy efficiency. More than 200,000 homes have already been assessed, but only around 1,000 loans have been approved, with claims that the program has been mired in bureaucratic blockages. Now the loans themselves have been scrapped and thousands of people who trained as assessors fear they'll go broke. Matt Peacock reports.
The idea seemed simple enough. Free assessments of household energy efficiency and interest-free loans to help pay for improvements. But, like the controversial government insulation rollout, the Green Loans scheme has become a debacle.
It's almost a case study in how not to develop and implement policy.
It's a fantastic program gone horribly wrong because of total and absolute mismanagement.
I'm not saying there haven't been problems with this. Plainly, there are, and they need to be dealt with.
I usually look at the bills first to see how you fare compared to other Victorians.
Under the scheme launched last July, any household could receive a free home inspection by an accredited assessor who'd highlight the areas where the home's energy efficiency could be improved.
If you're missing insulation around these lights, you only have to miss 5% of the insulation and it's only 50% effective.
Erin Dunn is one of the 200,000 Australians who've already asked for an assessment of their houses.
We recently renovated, so within the last 5 years, and we wanted to see how effective we were at implementing some of the basic measures of having a greenhouse.
Yeah, so you're doing okay. So what I need to do is measure the house, measure the windows, take a note of what you've got, and I put it into a computer program and it will give you recommendations about what you should change.
But soon after its launch, the Green Loans scheme ran into trouble. Newly accredited house assessors, like the former building industry worker Steve Jenkins, now find it impossible to make ends meet.
I'm going to give this up as a full-time idea. It's too difficult, it's too hard, it's basically not working as a sustainable income.
Greens Senator Christine Milne blames the crisis on a blowout in the number of trained accreditors.
People understood there would be a limit of 1,000 to 2,000 assessors. People made business cases based on 360,000 assessments, 2,000 assessments over 3 to 4 years and worked out there was a viable business for them. Instead of which, the government did not oversee this, and by Christmas we had 5,000 people trained and accredited and a further 5,000 trained.
Story of my life. Engaged.
Thousands of assessors throughout the country are now rapidly going broke. Ralph de la Tour is another one abandoning what the government billed as a new green job.
The program so far has cost me in excess of $2,500 to $3,000, and I've made back gross only about twice of that within a 7-month period.
Not good.
No, not good at all. I think in anybody's language, that's a business that's bound to fail.
Wayne Floyd, chairman of the Association of Building Sustainability Assessors, or ABSA, which is paid by the government to accredit the assessors, claims the blowout's not their fault.
We brought the potential oversupply of assessors to the department's notice in July, August, September, October, November. Every month we've had discussions with them on what can happen to control the assessors, the amount of assessors coming through. It is out of our control. That is a government issue.
On Friday, when the Environment Minister Peter Garrett pulled the plug on his beleaguered insulation program, he also announced sweeping changes to the Green Loans program, imposing a cap of 5,000 assessors.
The government's announcing today a series of changes to the environmental programs of the government to boost safety and to improve environmental performance. The government never promised assessors that they would get work under the program. What we said is that we would provide a certain number of assessments, and now I've tripled that.
But what about the other thousands and thousands of assessors who have not yet been accredited, but they've paid for their training? They're going to be left high and dry.
The government's also now scrapped the interest-free loans. Of 200,000 households so far assessed, a little more than 1,000 people have taken a loan under the program. But more than 100,000 people have yet to receive their crucial paperwork back from the government. And for them, it may now come too late.
In relation to those that have received that paperwork and have processed the loans and taken an application, obviously that will be the process that's underway. In relation to those that haven't, the government's made its decision that it's going to concentrate on assessments at this point in time, not on the loans component.
This is the government punishing people through its own inadequacies and inefficiencies. When are people going to get the reports they need?
This whole thing is riddled with anomalies, it's riddled with problems, it's riddled with unfairness, and I think that the unfairness cuts all ways here.
Monitoring of how the money's been spent from the loans already approved is inadequate, according to the Australia Institute's Richard Dennis.
There's huge scope for deliberate or inadvertent rorting of this, because a lot of people are going to get the $10,000 loans, and to be generous, maybe they'll just be a little bit slow in getting around to installing those green investments in their home.
We have reverse cycle ducted air conditioning throughout.
Already the government set up an inquiry into the stampede of assessor training courses that sprang up under the scheme, some promising unrealistic earnings. For the existing home assessors like Ralph de la Tour, there's still doubt they can make a living from the limited assessments they can book on the department's notoriously slow call centre.
I attempted for 3 days to get through, only to have an overloaded engaged signal.
I recognise it can be frustrating, but by capping the number of assessors and by significantly increasing the number of assessments, I think we've taken the necessary actions to ensure more orderly assessments.
There's a real risk that either this government or future governments will be reluctant to invest in these sorts of policies again, not because they can't work and not because they don't pay for themselves in the long run, but because everyone will be afraid that their policies will be linked up with the problems that are currently being experienced here.
Matt Peacock with that report.